Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Reynolds with the board, Better Off Reading Every Day. Yes, boys and girls, we are back. And yes, we have a bucket right here. Remember I said we are going to fill up this bucket all year long. That's what Board with Miss Reynolds is striving to do every single day that I read to you. So our first bucket filling book is How Full is Your Bucket for Kids? And this is written by Tom Roth and Mary Reckmeyer, illustrated by Maurice J. Manning, and it's a scholastic book. Our second book is going to be Buster and the Baby, and that is by Amy Hess, illustrated by Polly Dunbar. And I want to open this one out because it's got the cutest little back on it. Can you see? And my third book today is actually going to be Do You Want to Be My Friend by Eric Carle. And this book I'm going to have to pull up close to you so you can see it because it literally has about 2 sentences in it, and it's a book that you have to turn and you have to look at the pictures. So that's going to be the last one. So boys and girls, are you all strapped in? Are you ready to go? Are you ready to be bored with Miss Reynolds? Better Off Reading Every Day? I'm definitely ready. So let's go. How full is your bucket for kids? Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. I want to build with you, she said. Felix scowled. Go away, you're too little. I'm big. Stay back, you'll knock it over. I can be very careful. Go play with your baby toys, Anna. Felix, twack! Grandpa shook his head. Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket. Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad. But when it's full, she feels great. Did you ever notice your own bucket? Invisible bucket? Sometimes Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was joking. But the next morning when Felix woke up, there it was, a small gray bucket floating above his head. When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. I've got a meeting this morning and it's almost time to go. Anna, sit still. Felix slipped and choco wheat scattered across the floor. Felix yelled. Felix, yelled his mom, you should have used the stool to reach that. Felix could feel his bucket tip and big invisible drips spill out. Drip, drip. Ha ha, Anna laughed as she crunched the cereal with her shoe. Drip. Get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus, scolded Mom. When the school bus With the school bus honking, Felix quickly swept up the choco wheats and grabbed the last blueberry muffin. But before he can even take a bite, Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip. Hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it. Drip. Psst. Felix. Psst. Drip. Watch out, shrimp. Drip. It was still morning and Felix's bucket felt almost empty. As he watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. Felix slumped into his chair and waited for something else bad to happen. Mrs. Bumblenickel walked slowly up to his desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with the class? Felix grinned and felt a big drop land right in his bucket. Drop, plop, plink, drop. A Gizanotosaurus who wanted a pet by me, Felix. The class grew quiet. They laughed at all the right places and oohed at the scary parts. When Felix finally read the end, everyone clapped, even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't usually like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be so bad after all. Drop. Team captains today are Veronica and Felix. Drop. Nice cow. It's a dog. Well, nice colors there, Felix. Drop. Cool laser ant backpack, Felix. Drop. By afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone else had a bucket too. Drop, drop. Let me help you. Drop. Here's your baseball catch. Thanks, dude. Drop. Drop. Hi, I'm Felix. First day? Drop. Yes, I'm Amir. The strange thing was that every drop he helped put in someone else's bucket, he felt another drop in his own bucket. The strange thing was that for every drop he helped put in someone else's bucket, he felt another drop in his own bucket. When Felix burst into the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa. I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog," he almost scolded. But then he thought, dogs might have invisible buckets too. "Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix her." Wah! "Until then, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks?" And so they did. Boys and girls, I do not own the rights to this book, but I do love storytelling magic and sharing stories with you. And when I realized that I had never told you the story about bucket filling or talked much about bucket filling, I decided that this year, going forward, after reading 600 books last year, that I would be doing a lot of things and sharing a lot of bucket filling with you, because I absolutely believe that bucket filling could take over the world. So, here is this beautiful book, How Full Is Your Bucket for Kids by Tom Rath and Mary Reckmeyer, illustrated by Maurice Manning. And my favorite page in this book is the strange thing was that for every drop he helped put in someone else's bucket, he felt another drop in his own bucket. Which means that every time you're doing good for others, you're also doing good for yourself. Every time you're kind to others, you're also being kind to yourself. Every time you're showing love to others, you're also showing love to yourself. Every single time you drop something in that bucket, your bucket is getting something dropped into it too. So how about we do it? First, in the bucket. Yes. Second book, Buster and the Baby. By Amy Hess, illustrated by Polly Dunbar. Thump, thump, thump. In the little red house, a dog ducks under the table. His name is Buster, and under the table is a good place to hide. Maybe. He waits and watches and waits some more. Thump goes his heart. Thump, thump, thump. Then Chaaa! Out of the shadows she comes, squealing and whirling and bumping his nose. Chaaa! Chaaa! Go Buster, go Buster, go Buster, go. He wriggles behind the chair. Behind the blue chair is a good place to hide. Maybe. He waits, he watches, and waits some more. Thump goes his heart. Then out of the shadows she comes, squealing and whirling and chasing his tail. Cha, cha. Go Buster, go Buster, go Buster, go. He leaps round the back of Big Bear. Round the back of Big Bear is a good place to hide. Maybe. He waits and watches and waits some more. Thump goes his heart. Thump, thump, thump. Then out of the shadows she comes, squealing and whirling and hurling peas. Ping goes the peas. Ping, ping, ping. Cha, cha. Buster and the baby go, go, go all through the day. But night always follows day, and when night comes, the baby is tucked up once and for all in her slippery bed, in her slippery, no, not slippery. But night always follows day, and when night comes, the baby is tucked up once and for all in her silvery bed and her silvery room. Yes, silvery, let's get it right. She hides under her blanket, is a good place to hide. She waits and watches and waits some more. Thump goes her heart, thump, thump, thump. Then out of the shadows he comes, wagging and skidding across the room, up, up, up on the bed. Licking her nose, licking her ears, lickety, 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 lick. Soon everyone is yawning. Thump goes their hearts, thump, thump, all through the night. For Sarah K., quiet cheerleader, A and H. For Macy Wren Adcock, PD. A special thanks to Charlie Morton, who drew the baby on the bed wall. The end, boys and girls, of Buster and the Baby. And here is my version of Buster right there. Buster and the Baby. What a relationship between a child and their dog. Boys and girls, I do not own the rights to this story. I just love sharing storytelling magic with you. And this was a beautiful one about the love between a child and their pet. There are lots of my kids out there that got pets during quarantine, and they're sharing love with them right now. And they're being good and great pet owners. And this is a shout out to them. Thank you for being so good at caring for your pet, also a member of your family. Big love, big love. That's the second one. Can it fit in our bucket? Yes, it can. Might fall down, but it's only fair that I get closer. Now, I have to get closer to you with this book, and I'll tell you why. This book is a little bit different than all the other books that I've ever read. And I'll tell you why, because you have to show it. It only has a few words, so are you ready? You ready? Should we turn the bucket upside down, or should we leave it? We'll just leave it? All right. Do You Want to Be My Friend by Eric Carle. To Felix. Do you want to be my friend? Do you want to be my friend? Yes. And that is the end of Do You Want to Be My Friend? So we had the first page, if you remember going back, when the mouse asked the question. Do you want to be my friend? And some pages all the way down here, the answer was from the other mouse, yes. And off they went safely past all the animals to be together and to be friends. And that is it, boys and girls. Literally 2 sentences in that book. But you get it. You get their journey. So, boys and girls, it is Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D. Better Off Reading Every Day. I do not own the rights to any of these 3 books that I read to you, but I do love storytelling magic and the magic of sharing. Bucket filling, Buster and the Baby, and Do You Want to Be My Friend? And my answer to you is yes. I want to fill your bucket. I loved the story of Buster and the Baby, and I also want to be your friend. And I want you to continue being a good friend to everyone that you meet. So it is Miss Reynolds with B.O.R.E.D. Better Off Reading Every Day. It's been my pleasure to bring these stories to you because you know how much I love to bring stories to you. And we are over 600 now, and we are just plugging along. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, boys and girls. And I will see you really, really soon with some other awesome books. Remember, a little something in your head, a lot of something in your heart, and hopefully make you laugh a little. Let's fill this bucket and let's fill it up good. There it is. We are filling our bucket. Bye, boys and girls.